Up here. Hello everyone. Okay, so today I'm following on with this project. What am I doing? I removed the brush finish from the stainless steel plate at the top of this mild steel frame, and what the plan is here is to polish these two plates into a mirror finish at both sides. The reason I'm bringing up the mirror finish is just to have them looking pretty, but also it's so that the reason they're stainless at the top is so I don't need to coat them with powder coat. So the plan is to have these polished, and then we're going to blow the powder into the mirror finish. So there will be a zinc primer on this. There will also be a base coat to go underneath the candy, and then there will be a candy colour on the frame itself. So I have worked out a way here how to keep the powder off the mirror plates. I'm not going to get into it in the meantime, but if anybody wants to guess, I can go ahead and leave a comment how I'm going to stop the powder from sticking to the stainless plates. So keeping in mind that I have to apply 4 coats, as I just mentioned there. So how do I stop powder from landing on the mirror finish? I'll get into that when I'm going to powder coat it. But for now, I'm just going to continue on here and remove the marks left by the sanding stage the last day. So, the powder will come up to about here, and the mild steel and a wee bit of the stainless plate will be powder coated. So the reason I'm not powder coating the plate in the first place is because when you're sliding the axle down into these grooves, it would tip the powder coat, and it would also leave the axles being tight because these slots are cut perfectly to match the QS273 and the QS205, so a 10mm slot and a 12mm slot on the two plates. So why can I not just leave it like that at the minute, with sort of like a flat finish? Is because, well, I like things looking different, and that's the reason I'm doing this. So it's just sort of like a wee experiment, seeing if I can blend the candy purple into the mirror finish. So it will be tricky, but I'm sure I'll be able to do it. So here is the bracket that I've made for my DIY powder coating oven, and the tracking mechanism that I designed for it. So basically I could slide this back and forward 4 times into the oven or into the booth, because the tracking system runs directly from the booth to the oven and vice versa. So here is what the finish used to look like. So it used to be a very coarse brushed finish, and on the side it's very rough and dumpily on the heavier stainless plate. So what's this 316 grade stainless? And believe it or not, I'm out here to get a wee break because I'm sitting down doing research all day on the computer, and it's not me. I prefer to be doing manual work, of course. I can already see my reflection starting to appear now. It will become like a mirror-like finish when I move to 600 here. So I'm currently on 320. fix the polishing stage much easier rather than trying to hold this up onto the polishing machine to remove loads of scratches. So I'll just move this piece of sandpaper. So that sandpaper uses a special type of sandpaper for using water. It's very effective. So here's what that face used to look like. So it's been through the stages. I skimmed it with a grinding pad first. The entire faces were a wee layer removed off them. Especially at the brush finish side. So it's looking good there now. So it's not important really focusing on this point anymore. About 15 mil up from the bottom of the stainless plate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to focus on this point, really. These two pieces are done, more or less. I will be moving to 600 grit soon and you will see a big difference. So here at this point, it was cut open previously because I accidentally broke a tap on Saturday. I was rushing. So as you can see, it's back to original again, using the 316 rods. So I'll bring this down a bit closer so you can see better what I'm doing here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give it a quick wee rub and then we're going to move on to the other two faces. So the problem by having the phone down too close, sometimes it auto focuses, and I noticed that there watching the live streams back. That sort of interferes. Hello there, curious cats. So I'm just going to continue to get this phone something square. So hopefully that view's okay there. So what the water's doing here is basically keeping the surface clean and the sandpaper, keeping it cool too, obviously, and it just removes the oil particles or whatever you want to call it, the stainless. And you can see what you're doing too, of course. But as I say, the sandpaper that I'm using here is completely different from this aluminium carbide stuff. Aluminium oxide. So this is a side's completely skimmed. Probably about a good quarter of a mil is taken off it. But as you can see, it's perfectly flat. So I'm going to go get more water here, but that face is complete, and that face is more or less complete. Nearly ready for the 600 grit, but I have to do the other side first. When I say the other side, these two faces. So hopefully you're enjoying what I'm doing here. It's a very time-consuming job, as you can see. Well, the hardest bit's done. This is the easy bit. You can see things taking place now. You can see the nice smooth surface. So this face will have scratches in it from the 120 grit because I didn't have 240. But even at that, there will be scratches that I didn't see or that the sandpaper didn't remove. But as I say, this blue stuff is really effective. I use it for all my stainless projects. I need more water here. I'm gonna go to the tap. So I will be powder coating this very soon. When I say soon, I'm just not entirely sure it's going to be this Saturday, but I have a few videos to make, other projects, compressor and stuff. So I will have these looking like mirror even before I take it to the polisher. So you can see there the nice radius I put on the my style. That will look well with powder coat on. And this curve, this concave curve. This is the third phase since I started the live stream. I will be moving to 600 grit soon. So what I'm doing with the water there is just basically removing the residue so I can see what I'm doing. So there's a few scores here at the end of the plate. These edges need done yet. unreal sandpaper. So the powder will come up to about here. So the scratch is there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the buggy off on a minute. With the 120 grip. And I'm just going to dig in there at that point. Maybe with a new pad first. E-disc. Okay, that'll be enough. We'll move over to the other E-band again. And we'll put a new piece of sandpaper on, if I can find it. must be stuffing enough on it. So nearly onto the fourth face. Bearing is definitely making a noise there now, isn't it? Probably all the water. Just notice the scratch there at the corner. Two here, two still. that's ready for the 600 then. So I've one piece to do now down here just. Shouldn't be that hard because that one was scratched. So focusing on the bottom one now, and then we're going to move on with a 600 grit. And I will demonstrate polishing it with the wheel action. Well, you know, bring it up to create sort of like a mirror effect. Oh, look at this, a big pile of scratches. Dear. To here for another half an hour. What I see the time it is, just okay. So here is the well there. The weld location. Better just put the new one on here to speed this up. So as soon as I get these scratches out, they're quite coarse. I will be starting with the 600 grade. Well, when I run this one, it'll work first. Well, let's see if I get a wee bit closer here. So if the scratchers are running this way, you want to be hitting them like this. Not this way under them. You don't want to be going under them, you want to be going across them. Ready for the final stage here before we move on to 600 grit. So I'm only going to demonstrate doing one side, but I have to finish this one first because I have to go make the dinner soon. So what grade am I on? 320 at this point. This is done, the back of this one's done, and the back of this is done. So I will demonstrate the 600 grit in a moment. This used to be a brush finish face. When I say rough, it used to be like this plate seen here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just start polishing one of these faces here. We'll have 600 grit. Let that water run off a minute. So we'll start with this one. So I'm going to go on the shade here. Going to get some 600 grit and then I'm going to start. Okay, first for 600. Oh, I don't know if I have any 600. I don't. Right, I'm gonna have to go to my bag of goodies. Well, let me see what I've got. There's 600 there. It's flat. There, about there. Right there. Right. So here we go. Just going to cut it too. So you should see this cup nice and bright now. In a moment. Starting to come up there. So just to point out, I still need to do the edges off the plate. Probably tell there I'm using a lot of force on the sander. Just creates a little bit of friction and it comes up better, you know. But just to point out, this is only the preparation stages. This is these 4 plates, sorry, the 4 sides of the 2 plates will be polished on the edges. Up to this point. So that face is ready to be polished, and there will be no scratches on it because I have prepped it completely from 80 grips right up to 600. That's right, hello. And also 80 of the backing pads in the grinder. So basically what I done first is I flattened this plate. It had the brushed finish on it. I flattened it with the grinder professionally, so it's not a grinding disc. There's that, it's gone now. So I'll get the other bit of 600 that I have left, and then I'm going to order some tonight. I have 1000 grip there too, but it's too fine in the meantime. Scissors run. So as soon as I hit the polisher now, it'll look beautiful. So I'm just going to give her a wee quick heavy sand. You'll see it come up a wee bit brighter. So if I remove some of the water, right, and hit it again now. Get the gist, coming up well there. So the next stage for that face will be using the sisal wheel. So at the minute you can see the cloud there, that's only done using sandpaper. And there's my phone, and you will be able to see my head there. So don't worry about this, so it looks neat again now, it's just the grime, but that will be powder coated up that one. Come on, next finger. So I'll do the face at the bottom there now, and then we'll see how it goes. Although we're down a bit here. So I just wanted to demonstrate there, bringing up to a kind of mirror finish, not using the polisher. So now that I have it to this stage, it'll be very easy for me to polish it up. Starting off with a sisal wheel. So we're going to do this one now. I have to get about a 600 grit. This is my bag of stuff that I use for all the projects. That there looks like 600. Could be 1,000. There's 600 there, look. But they're all used, that's the problem. So I'll say I'll do that plate at the bottom now and then we'll move on. Oh, so it's Saturday I might be polishing this. That's 600, okay. So what I do is remove the residue, then I go again, but so what, I'm removing the 3 Cretigrix spores, and then we're going to start giving it a good rub with no water. QS273 here, and QS205 here, or MXUS, same thing. So there's how you polish using the dual action. For the ones in the background there. So they're watching. Basically what you want to do there is create friction, and yeah, that's it. So we're done there now. I'm going to go make a dinner here. It's been a long day. Okay. So considering that plate used to look like that, and if I was to take 80 grit to this here plate now, you would see the dimples in it. That's how rough it is. This side of the plate was the brush finish seen here. So it's quite coarse. It being 12 or 10 mil plate. So I'm going to do this plate again. And then on Saturday I'm going to polish them properly, professionally, on the sander. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'll continue all the wee minute here. Another 5 minutes or so. And I'll just demonstrate bringing this one up to a better finish than this. So I'm using no compound, I'm using no polish. So the right choice of sandpaper here is important if you want to do this. You're not going to do it with aluminium oxide. Well, you would be able to do it, but it wouldn't be as effective with this type of sandpaper. As you can see, it doesn't fall apart. So if you mind at the start of this live stream, this plate had scores on it. As you can see, the scores are completely gone. And I haven't even polished it yet. So I'm going to demonstrate how to bring this on up now to like a burr-like finish. When I say a burr-like finish, I'm probably about 10% of the way there. So pushing hard on the dual action and good swift actions back and forward, 2 directions. I don't need water to do this because I have the cutting process done. So here we go. So what you do here is you want to create heat. Friction. To do that, you push down on the sander and also pull back on the sander quite hard. Left, right, forward and back, left and right, forward and back. So this is something I've just learned with experience. So I'll give a wee trick away today. How long have I been doing it? Years. Considering I'm 38, I've been doing it, well, since my teens. There's no polish. I'm just glazing the plate. The sweat from that. Oh, my legs are sore now. There we go. So that's how we polish with the dual action. I'm sure a lot of people have learned something there. So that's a burr finish, nearly a burr finish. That's no, it's definitely about 50% of the way there. So that's it, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'm absolutely knackered, as you'd expect. Oh, I can keep going here, you know. Need a wee bit of water to get it going. You're obviously not going to be able to do this with a plate that's pitted and has a brush finish on it. So you have to go through the stages. So what I'm doing again now is sort of cutting it. Cutting the base again. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to use a brand new piece of 1000 grit. I was inside a compartment or a container or something and I couldn't get in with the polisher. You could do this, go through these different stages to bring it up to this finish. Or if you didn't have a polisher. So here we go, I'm going to move over to 1000 grit. And you should see a big difference again. So let me get organised here. It says it was going on a minute ago and I'm still out here. Addicted. So anybody that knows me knows this is my drug. My project. So, I need to go on soon. Right, okay, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate it again here. Using 1000 grit this time. So no polish. So this is coarse, so it will take the shine off it first. Because it's brand new. But bear with me. The finish is gone. So any wee marks left by the 600 grit when the sandpaper's gone through. Any wee marks left by, it's not even 1000. Where did the 1000 go? So any marks left by the 600 grit, this will remove them. So it's better to have this round because I'll be giving her lilty in a minute. So that's the right word for here. Start polishing now again. We need a wee bit more water to get it going here. So there's an annodised. When the water and the residue dries, I'm sort of using it to polish, if that makes sense. And if you don't have enough water on it or that residue, it won't work. Got it to ground this side a minute. I'm absolutely knackered, eh? The plate's warm there, my hands went on it. Let me see if I get this phone a wee bit. Okay, I'll pull over this way actually because what do we see? There. That'll do there. Okay, I'll keep her locked here. but I'm using all the energy. So I'm creating a lot of heat, friction. Okay everyone, I have to stop and knock it. I have to go make a dinner. Woo! So you can tell there, that's how you polish with a sander. Okay everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks to the Genuine and also thanks to you know who. On Saturday I will be continuing on with the projects. You can see the cloud, you can see the pole, you can see everything in that mirror plate. So thank you for watching everyone and goodbye. I'm going to make a dinner. Bye.